We got a female probation officer who is accused of leaking information to a fentanyl trafficking ring.
Right now, a former probation officer is behind bars in Orange County, accused of helping drug traffickers avoid getting caught.
Investigators say that she used her access to a confidential database to tip them off. WESH News' Bob Hazen is live at the Orange County Jail. Bob, she wasn't even supposed to be able to get into that system.
Yeah, in fact, it looks like the state agency that she worked for screwed up and didn't cut off her access to that system, even after she was fired 4 years ago. And that let her see secret information that only law enforcement is supposed to see. Now, the sheriff's office gave us this video of that suspect, 32-year-old Crystal Lawson, being taken to jail. She used to work as a juvenile probation officer, and while on that job could log into a system that contains active arrest warrants and documents. Detectives say they started investigating a group trafficking fentanyl last year, and they realized that someone was leaking secret documents to members of that group, possibly warning them that the cops were looking for them. They say they checked the database and found someone logged in as Lawson had searched up those members' names, and they say one person connected to that drug ring was Lawson's father. Her arrest report says, quote, Lawson's own father bragged to the drug trafficking organization members that his daughter could find out when people had warrants. They also say her actions had consequences, and quote, these leaks resulted in lost evidence, unrecovered assets, and at least one flight to avoid arrest or prosecution. Lawson only worked for the State Department of Juvenile Justice for about 8 months back in 2022, so her access to that system should have been cut off long ago, but investigators say, quote, the department made an apparent clerical error upon her termination and did not terminate her CCIS access or notify CCIS of her termination.
Your own father. Your father's bragging about what you did. Luckily, they was able to, they would have most likely found it anyway or came investigating you anyway because you logged in under your credentials. But your father is bragging to the members of the criminal organization that you're the one who's helping. I do love stupid criminals. Let's keep going into this, though.
And the reports say at least one lawyer also got access to those secret documents. Lawson is now here at the Orange County Jail facing more than 100 criminal charges related to that unauthorized access to that system. Her bail is set at more than $1.1 million. She should go in front of a judge here later on today.
You threw your whole life away. It's crazy, y'all. Let's get into this next one.
Authorities in Orange County, Florida, knew they had a problem on their hands when drug traffickers in the area kept getting wind of arrest warrants before the police could move in and get them.
Wonder how that happened. So it turns out that someone on the inside was tipping them off, and now that alleged leaker is the one in cuffs. Newsmax crime correspondent Jason Matera has the story.
It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting.
Crystal Lawson was supposed to be one of the good guys. Back in 2022, she was a juvenile probation officer. But after losing that job, officials say she somehow still had access to Florida's non-public criminal database, the one marked for governmental use only.
I just don't know how that access would have been maintained. It's beyond me.
And investigators say Lawson used that unauthorized access to leak active arrest warrants to members of a known drug trafficking organization. The former probation officer allegedly conducted a whopping 246 searches in Florida's comprehensive case information system from January to May of this year. Authorities say these leaks resulted in lost evidence, unrecovered assets, and at least one flight to avoid arrest. To Jeff Stinson, president of Florida's Fraternal Order of Police, this wasn't just about investigations that may have been compromised. It was also about officers potentially being put in danger.
Officers lose the element of surprise. If a criminal network knows law enforcement is coming, that allows them to set up on our deputies and our law enforcement officers and our federal agents.
They are going to throw the book at her. I mean, we understand that. At least I think I do, because the simple fact that many police officers could have easily died. You're helping a known criminal organization get the heads up on when police are going to be at a certain location to raid or to get a drop on a criminal. They could have easily set up an ambush and killed massive amounts of officers. Absolutely crazy. Let's keep going into this.
But Lawson's alleged criminal activity was also personal. According to the arrest warrant affidavit, her father was an associate of the very drug crew she is accused of tipping off. Her dad, known on the street as Mel Baby, allegedly bragged that his daughter could find out when people had warrants. Jeff Stinson says that's the kind of betrayal, if true, that puts the public at risk.
We're letting fentanyl that's hurting our children, it's hurting our youth in this country. We're giving them a tip on when law enforcement's going to take action. That's unacceptable.
Authorities say there was one more person Crystal Lawson was repeatedly looking up, herself. And on June 18th, the 32-year-old suspicions became a reality when the Orange County Sheriff's Office placed her under arrest.
Anytime somebody has any inside information, it's hurtful to not only the community, but to law enforcement officers trying to protect this community.
Crystal Lawson now faces 113 felony counts for allegedly accessing Florida's criminal database. And we're told that the investigation into this breach and the damage it may have done to ongoing cases is still active. And that investigation includes getting to the bottom of how Lawson's credentials were still active after she was no longer a probation officer.
Yeah, it does 100% need to be investigated of why she still had access so long after she was fired. But like you said, she needs to be charged as a national security threat. That is crazy. You know how many people could have died from this? Let's get over into this AI breakdown, y'all, just to wrap it all up and get a little bit more details about this whole story. So as we know, Crystal Lawson, a 32-year-old former juvenile probation officer in Orange County, Florida, was arrested after being accused of using restricted law enforcement database to leak confidential information. She was hired by the Florida Department of Juvenile Justice in February 2022 and was terminated later that year following an unrelated battery arrest. So despite her termination, a clerical error by IT and Human Resources Department left her database credentials active. So between January and May 2026, she used that system 106 times. So you mean to tell me they don't do checks of who all has access to the system from 2022? So investigator states that Lawson used her access to look up active criminal investigations, identified co-defendants, and track active arrest warrants. Her father reportedly bragged to the members of the drug trafficking organization that his daughter could check the system for active warrants. Like I've said before, I love stupid criminals who love to give out information. So according to the Orange County Sheriff's Office, the leak information severely disturbed active police inquiries, resulting in lost evidence, unrecovered arrests, and at least one suspect fleeing to temporarily evade arrest. So she is currently being held. She faces 113 felony counts of computer crimes, and her bail was set at $10,000 per count for a totaling $1.14 million. Yeah, she's not getting out. So I'm assuming 10%. So yeah, she's not getting out. So each felony count carries a maximum penalty of up to 5 years in prison, meaning Lawson faces theoretically 565 years in prison if she is convicted on all counts. 100%, Raymond. She is endangering the entire city. And this is someone who they have to lock up. But let me know your thoughts on that situation, y'all. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. It's a crazy situation. But we will keep up with this to see exactly how many years she gets. Because I can't see her getting off. Of course, they're going to plead not guilty, but we'll have to wait and see exactly what happens. Absolutely crazy, y'all.